Hi, everyone. I hope everybody's having a perfectly wonderful day and that things are going well. And this weekend, I was traveling, and I actually love going to Sunday school and other wards because I love to see what their takes are on things. Because currently, right now, I'm teaching in gospel doctrine, and so I'm always curious as to how other areas, what they teach, or in other wards or in other places, their take on it and how they do it, and things I can even learn. And this weekend, the lesson was on Hosea in the Old Testament. And if you don't know the story, look it up. It's a parable in a sense, and it's a parable about a marriage. It talks about a marriage that and the wife in this marriage, she has kids and she's with her husband, and then she decides she doesn't want to be a mother anymore, and she doesn't want to raise her kids, and she goes after the world and the things of the world, and she leaves and follows in those ways and is sinning and all those things, and then finally all those friends who she left her family and kids for, they all leave her. They all eventually that aspect ends, and then her husband still takes her back after all that she did, after all the pain and everything she went through. And again, this is a parable in the Old Testament, and in the Old Testament, it's a parable in the sense of Christ's love towards his children, towards his church, that we are in a covenant with him. And even though we sin and we stray and we hurt him, he's always there for us, no matter what. And I was sitting in that class and I was thinking about this parable, and I was thinking about, oh my goodness, if that had happened to me in a marriage, there's no way I would sit around and wait and just accept that person back with open arms and with love. And in the parable, the husband pays all her debts and goes through and does everything to just take her back 100%, just takes his wife back as if nothing had happened. And I thought I don't think I could ever do that. I don't think I could. And I've seen that in my life. I've seen people be hurt and betrayed in the most sacred thing of marriage. And so to me, that's the most personal thing. They said, why would they use the story of a marriage as opposed to a story of a mother and a child? And someone made a fabulous point. They said, because in a marriage, you have to constantly be working at your marriage. You have to constantly be working at your marriage, or it will fall apart. You have to constantly be doing good. And you have to constantly be forgiving. Where the same with a mother and a child, but a mother loves their child regardless. But the child necessarily doesn't always do things like in a marriage, like a spouse. That's the most intimate. You choose. You don't choose your children, but you choose your spouse, and they choose you. And so when you think of the analogy, and you think about church, and you think about Christ, do you choose that? No, first of all, the story is no matter what you do, he will take you back. He will take you back, just like in that story. No matter how horrid, no matter how bad, no matter what, he will take you back. He loves you. He wants you back, no matter what you do. That was the mercy that he has. We cannot comprehend, because I couldn't comprehend in the story. I'm like, I couldn't comprehend being that forgiving of a spouse. But that's exactly it. That is how forgiving Christ is of all of us. We can't comprehend. No matter what we do, his arm is stretched out still. No matter what we do, he is there waiting. He wants us. He loves us. He will pay whatever debt. He will do anything. And the thought of a marriage, when you think about the bridegroom and the 10 virgins, and where you have the 5 foolish and the 5 righteous, And we know that's an analogy also for today, and how so many times in the Old Testament and the New Testament, how we have the example of us being in a marriage with Christ. And are we doing our part? Are we doing our part in that covenant we've made with Christ? And guess what? If we haven't, if we failed, he's still there. He still wants to be a part of our life. He loves us so much. And it hit me with so much. It just bore witness to me that no matter how weak I am, no matter how weak any of us are, any of you, don't compare yourselves to others. Just concentrate on your relationship with Christ, and that he will be there for you no matter what, and that he is waiting with open arms for you to come to him. I know that is true, and I am so thankful for that knowledge. I'm thankful for the reminder in the Old Testament, in the New Testament, in the Book of Mormon, of Christ's love for us, for all of us, for everybody. And I'm so thankful for that knowledge. And I hope that knowledge can help you to be who you need to be. I want to help you to know that Christ loves you no matter what. And I testify of these things in the name of my Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.